On this week's Waypoint, we go over patch 4.6, Braum leaps into the league, Riot talks add-ons, and 2 legends join the All-Stars. What's up guys, and welcome to Waypoint, your weekly League of Legends recap for April 24th, 2014. I'm your host, Lindsay Geektron. Let's kick things off with the 4.6 patch notes, which hit live servers this week. A little light on the changes compared to the last few patches, as this is the patch the All-Stars will be playing on in Paris. Aatrox's Bloodthirst was fixed to properly proc every 3 attacks instead of occasionally every 2. It might sound like a minor change, but it actually caused a game in the European LCS to be remade. Following the remake, Aatrox was unavailable for professional play until presumably now. Gragas needs a little love after his rework, but Riot didn't want to rush things. The self-slow on his Drunken Rage is being removed, while the cooldown on Body Slam is dropping to 12 seconds at all ranks. Needless to say, more mobility is a good thing, but I'm not convinced it's enough to bring Gragas back as a top pick. That said, players have always been quick to drop nerf champions. Kassadin also needs a little love, even though he has been played post-nerf in the LCS a few times. Once by Alex Each of Gambit, who went with an Iceborne Gauntlets build, which we speculated on previously. Now, Riot has buffed his move speed and mana per level, which is actually significant on the mana-hungry mage. The shield effect on Nullsphere is much stronger, and Netherblade saw a slight damage buff, but I'm not sure if it's enough. With strong lane shovers like Lulu, Nidalee, Soraka, and Ziggs popular in the mid lane, how can Kassadin find the time to roam? That said, he can still be a late game monster, and that might be enough. Rengar is the 3rd champion to get a rework, and he saw some minor changes this week. Savagery saw a slight damage buff, but the change to his ultimate, Thrill of the Hunt, is much more impactful. Enemy champions will only be alerted to a nearby stealth Rengar when they could actually see him if he was out of stealth. Confused? Yeah, it was a silly mechanic that came with the rework. Previously, you would be alerted to a stealth Rengar even if he was in Fog of War. Looks like bush gangs are back on the table. The biggest champion change in the patch might go to Rumble, who's part of Riot's plan to bring more top laners up to the level of the mighty Renekton. While in Danger Zone, Rumble's shield and move speed bonus when using Scrap Shield has been doubled. Again, while in Danger Zone, the damage and slow on Electro Harpoon has also been doubled. It might not look like it on paper, but these are actually massive changes. They give Rumble much better escape and chase potential, and it's not like he was a weak champion before. His ultimate is monstrous. I'll put fake money on seeing Rumble at All-Stars. Wriggle's Lantern now costs 1800 gold and requires 30 large monster kills before transforming into Pharaoh Flare. This is definitely a solo queue change because only a few LCS junglers really took advantage of the item and got a quick transform. 30 large monsters is a lot of jungle farming, and I don't think an even more passive playstyle is what the item needed. Heal was recently buffed, making it a premier summoner spell. The LCS playoffs were basically the League of Heal, with 4 to 6 heals per game being common. Thankfully, it's now being nerfed. Heal is now 50% less effective when used on allies previously healed by the summoner spells in the last 35 seconds. Personally, I'm still not sure why the spell has move speed on it, but hopefully this puts an end to the heal spam. I still think we'll at least see 1 per team, likely on the AD carry, with the support using Exhaust. Braum, the Heart of the Freljord, has been revealed on the PBE as the latest champion to join the league. Billed as the first support since Thresh and arriving at a time when supports are stronger than ever, the Icy Giant has a lot of hype around him. Oh, and he also has a killer mustache. That helps. Braum will join the likes of Taric, Leona, and Alistar as a melee support, which means he's beefy and resilient with good survivability. In theory. Braum's basic attack will apply concussive blows, after which all following attacks from Braum and his allies will apply further stacks. Once that hits 4 stacks, the target is damaged and stunned. Before you start complaining, after being stunned, a target is immune to concussion for a moderate duration. The synergy with a ranged AD carry is pretty obvious here, but Braum does have to put himself in danger to start the stun stacking. Or not. Braum's Q is Winter's Bite, a ranged skill shot dealing magic damage based on Braum's max health, slowing the target and applying a stack of concussive blows. So there's your safe ranged stun combined with a few hits from your ADC. That sounds a little slow though. Outside of all-ins, I don't think that's going to be a common occurrence. While escaping or kiting a jungle gank though, absolutely, that sounds really strong. Braum's W is stand behind me, and it's actually very cool. Leap into the air of a nearby ally, placing yourself between your ally and their nearest enemy champion, while granting both champions bonus armor and magic resist. Not only is this good for blocking skill shots and protecting your lane partner as the name suggests, but it's also great for escaping. You can go all in as a melee, and if you need to, W and back to your AD carry and get out of there. I also assume it allows for wall jumps, which is always good. Braum's E is unbreakable and really hammers home the shield theme. Raise your shield in a target direction, negating the damage from the first attack that hits it and reducing all subsequent damage while the shield is raised. Braum also gains a minor move speed bonus until he lowers his shield and intercepts incoming projectiles. Combined with stand behind me, that's some very strong defense, and when he's used in tight spaces, could be incredibly effective. A long-ranged AD carry like Caitlyn standing behind Braum in a team fight? Pretty scary. Finally, Braum's R is Glacial Fissure. It's a long-range skill shot that knocks up and damages all enemies caught before leaving behind a strong slowing field. Honestly, this is probably the least exciting aspect of his kit for me. Knockups are always strong because tenacity doesn't affect them, and I could see this being strong in AoE team comps, but that's not exactly unique though. Overall, I really like Braum, and I can't wait to play him. The subject of third-party add-ons is a hot topic this week. Up until now, Riot has been fairly vague on what was allowed and what wasn't, choosing to decide it on a case-by-case basis. This led to a lot of confusion and distrust from the community, and Riot are working on clearing up the guidelines. Although this isn't set quite in stone yet, the general philosophy of the rules are following according to Riot Sargonis. Programs that give you information you have already earned, such as visible timers, are okay. Programs that give you information you have not earned, such as enemy timers, timers in the fog of war, ones that make decisions for you or take actions for you, are not okay. There's been a bit of an outcry from the community and pro players in particular over a program that's being used to time jungle camps. From Riot's point of view, they're okay with it currently and are even considering adding official jungle timers to the game. Ghostcrawler even went as far as to predict official jungle timers at some point. However, he also said that if players universally hated the concept, they would reconsider, at which point they would also reconsider third-party support. Next up, voting for the 6th player of the All-Star Hexakill Challenge match has been concluded. Coming from Hong Kong, Toys, formerly of the World Championship winning team Taipei Assassins, will join one group of the All-Stars, while Chinese legend Messiah, former captain of World Elite and famed Twist of Fate player, will join the other. Last week we talked about the 30 million votes Chinese fans cast at the initial round of All-Star voting, so the fact that these players were chosen really shouldn't surprise anyone. I can't wait to see what these all-time greats can do in Paris. In other news, Ultra Rapid Fire mode will join Hexakill as the second special game mode for the All-Star Challenge matches. The TSM vs Cloud9 Earth show match was hilarious, so I can't wait to see the pros duking it out with 80% cooldown reduction again. Fans, that's you guys, will be able to vote on some of the champions that must be used by both teams in the match. Personally, my vote's on Teemo. I hate that guy, but think of the shrooms. And that does it for this week's episode of Waypoint. Be sure to check back every Thursday for the latest League of Legends news. If you enjoyed this video, please like and comment below to help us reach more people. And if you want more League of Legends news, content, and updates, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, LulNation TV. I'm Lindsay Geektron. You can follow me on Twitter at Lindsay Geektron. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys at the next Waypoint.
Game Breaker TV.